Next is the Honorable Kevin Tierny of Greenwich. Good evening, Your Honor. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Please have a seat. You've traveled even further than Judge DeAndrea. It's good to see you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'd be happy to have any opening comments for the committee.
Senator McDonald, Representative Fox, members of the Judiciary Committee, this is my first opportunity to formally thank Governor Well for nominating me and to thank this committee for considering my renomination to the Superior Court sitting in a capacity as a judge trial referee. It's been an enjoyable experience as well as a great honor to serve as a judge of the Superior Court for the past 16 years. I've been assigned to the criminal, housing, civil, family, and complex civil litigation dockets during those 16 years. 8 of those years I served as the presiding judge. Since becoming a judge trial referee in October of 2008, I've been assigned to the civil docket in Stamford, where I try cases. I regularly preside over the Monday short calendars. I try civil cases, and from time to time I try family cases. I'll hope you will allow me to continue on my work as a judge trial referee, and any questions that you have, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I may have missed it. Do you try civil cases and family cases right now? Do you do both?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I ask you the same question I asked Judge DeAndrea. As a judge trial referee, how many days a week are you working on average now?
5 days, unless I'm out of the country. I travel.
Okay. And are you doing just trial work? I mean, are you on trial all the time? Are you doing short calendar hearings?
Yes, I'm on the bench almost all the time, almost every day.
And I've certainly seen you in action. I suspect you don't need clerks. You do all your, to my knowledge, you do all your own researching and writing on your own. Is that
That's
fair
correct.
to say? As a matter of fact, I think you probably hold the record for one of the longest or most thorough decisions in the Wendt divorce case. It was 500 pages or something.
They don't keep records for that.
Well, those of us who've seen you on the bench for a long time in the Stamford courthouse know the volume of business you do and process, but the dignity with which you do it. So it's a difficult balancing act, making sure people know that they have a right to be heard, have a right to present their cases. Lawyers in particular like to know that they can present cases, and you give everybody that opportunity and then proceed quickly to resolutions as quickly as possible. So I just want to thank you for the way you've distinguished yourself on the bench over the last 16 years.
Well, I think it goes the other way around. I want to thank you for those comments.
Well, thank you. Representative Fox.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's good to see you, Judge Tierny. Congratulations on your renomination. I know you've been here all day. We don't look and say the person with the furthest drive has to wait the longest, but I do thank you for your patience. I've seen you in housing court. I've seen you in criminal court and family court, and as well as in the civil court. And I know that you've always shown a willingness to take on difficult assignments, difficult cases, and you've welcomed those challenges. You've had a chance now to hear every other judge come before you. You've heard a number of the questions that we asked of them, and I'm sure that you have your thoughts on all of those different questions. I know in the area of technology, you are somebody who does know how to e-file or use our judicial branch website, because I've seen you do it in your courtroom. I also know that you do a lot of, or perhaps all of your own research in the cases that you handle. One of the areas that I'd like to know your opinion on, because I know it's something that I've seen a lot in the Stamford court during your time in the family court, was the pro se litigants. And as you know, there's a lot of them. And what are your thoughts on the number of pro se litigants? Have you seen a rise in them? And are there ways that we can maybe improve how we handle those cases?
it was 2 years ago was my last family assignment, but I've seen the growth of pro se litigants in my civil assignments, and I had 2 pro se litigants that would be probably classified as more of the professional variety, only because when you run their name through the Edison program, they appear in a number of cases. That's a recurring problem, but we have the Court Services Office in Stamford, which has alleviated the real major problem with pro se litigants in family cases, that is to prepare the cases for disposition on a generally agreed upon separation agreement that's negotiated with the Family Services Office, and it appears on the uncontested list. So the cooperation between the Court Service Office and the Family Relations in doing the mediation has alleviated a lot of the judges' concern with pro se. If we did not have that service, and we don't have it generally in civil, and we don't have the library access for those people, guess who has to give the pro se people assistance? The judges from the bench. It's not the right process.
And I know that it's something that I've seen growing, and I know it can be a source of frustration from the bench because, as you say, it's not the right process. Another question, I know that in addition to presiding over cases, you also care about, because I've seen it, that the way the courthouses are run, just in terms of the operation of the system. And one of the questions we've asked all the other judges is, have they seen any noticeable impact from the budget cuts that we've sustained or are about to sustain going forward? And have you seen anything yourself? I know, for example, translators is an issue that's very
well, the Stamford Courthouse, as I understand it, is the largest square footage courthouse in the entire state. But it is also on a small piece of property, so it has 7 floors. And it's very difficult to attend to the needs of each of the floors with the marshal staff that's there. So as a result, on my floor, which is the 6th floor, which has the judge's secretary's office and 5 other courtrooms that are available, there's one marshal sitting at the desk, usually at the beginning of the day, and then you very rarely can find that marshal, and unfortunately the doors are locked. That's a personal frustration. I don't think that's a serious problem, but the core function that I consider the core function of the judicial branch is going to be greatly impacted by the library and the legal research being cut off. Just from a core function point of view, I think that would be number one. It's just my point of view. Nobody else has chimed in on that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Senator Kissel?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And since we've been here 5.5 hours, and my ability to go and speak to the Granby Board of Education at 7, it seems to be quickly waning. Since I haven't seen you in 8 years, I have to ask this question. You served in the United States Army Artillery from 1963 to 71, and you were a battalion riot control officer. And I'm just wondering, what is that?
A battalion what?
It says battalion riot control officer, and I just have no idea what that
Anybody
means.
here from New Haven? You had 2 riots in New Haven. We were there both times in the street. That's what I did.
And the artillery service was in charge?
That's right. That's what we did. I trained the entire battalion, and we went out in the streets.
Scary.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was.
Thank you very much. Now I know.
Okay.
Representative Hewitt?
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
I'm glad you asked that question about New Haven because I got a question, too. I'm not a lawyer, but I do sit on judiciary, and we are surrounded by nothing but lawyers and judges. And every now and then a word comes up that I don't know what it means. And I'm not an ignorant person, but I don't know what it means. When I hear the word pro se, I think of, I agree with what I said.
I'll interrupt at this point.
You agree with that?
No. I'll interrupt at this point.
Okay.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And I got suckered in by Representative Fox by using the phrase, and courtesy, I just responded in kind. I use the word self-represented individuals. I don't always do that because our form puts the self-represented individuals pro se. It's printed right out because self-represented doesn't fit within the computer box that our program is set. But self-represented is the phrase du jour.
So that's what it means.
Yeah.
Because,
everybody-
last year we'd run across that a few times, and I suggested to the chairmans when people, have written testimonies that they put in parentheses what these words mean, because, there's a lot of people probably in this room that don't know what pro se mean.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you cleared that up. So hopefully that gives the chairmans a hint that, that we need to know what that means. Break it down for me. Break it down in layman's terms so we can understand it, because we have to vote too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Dillon, then Representative Gonzalez.
I just wanted to say that I represent New Haven. And I assume that you were patrolling the street during the Panther trial. Is that accurate?
No. I
Another
don't recall,
riot.
No. I don't recall exactly when the events were. But my father was a Superior Court judge, and he was originally assigned as the trial judge for the Panther trial. So I should have had a pretty good idea of when it was. But we were in the streets. I can't recall exactly what the incident was. And we were there because we were away on weekend duty, and we were called back in for the weekend. It was satisfied, and then Sunday it came again. We had to come back again on Sunday.
It's not really. It doesn't go to your tenure on the court. It's. My son wrote a paper about the Panther trial and was stunned to discover that his mother knew everyone on both sides, although I didn't live there at the time, and so. And one of them actually worked in OFA, one of the National Guard people who was kind of staking out the streets, and we were all friends. So it was kind of interesting to discover. Well, anyway, thank you very much for your service, and congratulations. I hope you've had. I hope you've come to New Haven to dine. Since then, we're really a pretty neat place. And
4 weeks ago, I impressed friends from Madison. I was able to get from the show at the theater, go through the back roads, and I got to the restaurant on Worcester Street.
There you go.
Okay.
We have lots of places to dine. You don't have to riot to come to New Haven. Thank you.
Representative Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Here in question number 24 says, have you ever been convicted of a crime, motor vehicle? And then you say, not in the past 8 years. What
Yes.
before 8 years?
Yes, okay, good question. All right, the previous applications, I'd answered no to number 23. I'd answered yes to number 24.
Right.
I have put the caveat of 8 years. So the previous applications contained the truth of my criminal record. Do you want to know that?
Right.
Okay. I was invited to stay with friends at a lake in Lebanon, and there was a canoe. We had some children. I took the children out. I made sure that they all had the little kapok, not the vest, but the kapok seats. We went out in a canoe, and there's no motorboat. It was just a canoe. And then somebody came along. They had the uniform, and they asked me, he said, where's your vest for the children? And I said, I'm sorry, I don't have the vest. I have these kapok things. They all have them. And they said, well, that's not good enough. You'll have to go back. So I took the canoe back to the house. And the next thing I know, 10 minutes later, the guy comes up again, and he gives me a ticket for unsafe something or other. And I have absolutely no idea. I've researched the law of infractions and all the rest of it. So I put down yes 8 years ago. I'm covering up now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything further? We're going to leave it at the cover-up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay, that worked out.
The next is a nomination to be a Workers' Compensation Commissioner, Scott A. Barton of Seymour.